Welcome back. Welcome to the weekly Zohar class. Happy New Year. I hope you had an excellent time, good vacation. We are back with a lot of energy to start a new year. Powerful messages, lessons, how to improve our life. The portion of this week is Vaera, in the meaning of appearing. God is appearing to Moshe, and we talk about a new year. Kabbalistically, we welcome any kind of newness. We love newness. Even the new year, it's not in a Hebrew calendar, but we still welcome it. It's a natural feeling that we have. We love new clothing, we love new cars, we love new houses. It's embedded within our soul that we love newness. Even it's not within the Jewish Hebrew calendar, but we welcome it because we want to start a new chapter in our life. If you got my Facebook message, it says Happy New You. Not only Happy New Year, Happy New You. It's a new you. We all get disappointed, we all go through some challenges, we had some bad experiences. We want to put an end to it, and we want to start a new chapter. So we welcome this new year, we welcome this new you, new me, new us. And we want to rejuvenate our soul, reboot and go back to our original way of life, way of soul. Not to carry that anger and separation and hate for another year. And we also started a new book in the Torah. Last week we started the book of Shemot, which is in a level of Chokhmah. The first book of Torah is the seed level, is Keter. The second book of the Torah is Shemot, names, and it's in the level of Chokhmah, wisdom. The first book is taught us how we made of, what is our purpose. And the second book, the book of Shemot, is teaching us wisdom, Chokhmah. And the first 6 weeks of the Torah, if you take the first letter of every portion, like Shemot and Vaera, and next week's book called Shovavim. Shovavim means like a smart wannabe, like you think you are smart. In Hebrew, Shovavim is like a little boy that runs around and doesn't listen to his parents. He says, I know it all. So in a way, it's a message to us that, we think we are very smart. We think we know it all. But the Torah is hinting us that there is an absolute wisdom, there is an absolute truth and emet. And this is what we want to achieve. This is what we want to seek. And we want to learn from the portion of the Torah. Before we get to the lesson of this week, I named this class subject as how to be a leader. In the first book of the Torah, Moshe was not with us, but Moshe joined the book of the Torah last week, and he's going to stay with us for the rest of the Torah, all the way to next Rosh Hashanah, until the end of the Torah. So, Moshe was not chosen by accident. He was a great leader. And we want to learn how to become a great leader, how to be a good leader, according to the spirituality. When it comes to leadership, we think like a president, is a leader, or a big CEO of a company is a leader, or maybe a spiritual leader, a big rabbi is a leader, or a father is a leader. And that's not true. Every one of us is a leader. Every one of us is a leader. There is every human being, every person is either looking up to somebody or somebody is looking up to us. So it's not a question of if I'm a leader or not. It's the question is how well, how good I'm leading. At the business, we can be a leader. You know, as a parent, we can be a leader. As a community leader, two friends. One of them, you know, could lead the other person. Could be a good example for the other person. We listen to advices. We look up to people. So we all leaders, but how well do we lead? What a good leader we are. And we all know about Moshe, what the qualities he had, you know, pure, humble, everybody loved him. Every person on this planet loved Moshe. I mean, there is no dispute about Moshe Rabbeinu. Every religion, every culture, they love Moshe. So, being a good leader is not about action, it's not about speech. Being a good leader is about the consciousness, is about the mind, the level of the consciousness. And in spirituality, in Kabbalah, we learn that we have to be the channel of light. Whatever we do, we have to be channel of the light. We share, we care, we love, and we have compassion, and we care for people around us. So, being a leader is not how tough you are, or how powerful you are, or how much wealth or money you have. It's about where is the level of your consciousness. There is, you know, a good leader has a high energy level. High energy level. That's like number one rule. There is one fact that our world called the world of laziness. We're all looking for comfort. We're all looking for an easy way to live. We're all looking for a quick solution for any challenges that we have. We live in a world of laziness. We're always looking for comfort. In order to become a good leader, we have to go through the process to avoid this laziness, to run away, to disconnect from this laziness and the comfort zone. There is one good example, like, you know, we come to an office and we ask one of the employees or one of the workers about the job or about a project they had to do. And the response is, you know, I forgot to do it, or it was too hard to do it, or just, you know, they were like too lazy to do it. That's the lowest level. Too lazy to do the job, too lazy to do our responsibility. The second example is you approach somebody and you ask for the responsibility they had to do the project. You know, they haven't done it, but they confront you. They say, oh, you know, I misplaced it, I forgot about it, you give me the wrong direction. At least it's one level higher. And the higher level, that if you forgot to do a project to do, we're going to say, we're going to take the responsibility. You know what? I forgot to do it. I was lazy about it. I take the responsibility, but I'm going to ask for a second chance. I'm going to do it for sure this time. I forgot it, but I'm going to do it. So we want to raise our consciousness from laziness to confronting, and the highest level is take the responsibility. In a common language, you say, get the monkey out of your back. You know, you forgot about it, you take responsibility, and you face the challenge, and you're going to do the job. So, first is to become a good leader is to get rid of this laziness. what's the next point? We talk about raising the level of the energy, caring and being responsible. Being responsible in the meaning of that a great leader doesn't give orders, doesn't tell people what to do, that it's behind his abilities. A good leader, a good CEO, a good president, if he have to, he's gonna do every single responsibility that corporation has. There's another example. If a CEO walking in his company and they see a piece of paper on the floor, he's not going to call the maintenance. He's not going to wait until the day is over so to come and clean it. He's going to pick up the piece of paper. He's going to put it in the trash. A good leader is not going to ask somebody to show up at 7 o'clock in the morning to the work and he's not capable of doing it. Or if you ask an employee to stay up late, but he want to go leave early, that's not a good leader. A good leader doesn't afraid to get his hands dirty. In a different language, a good leader is not afraid to go to the trenches, to do the dirty job. A good leader is a good example. You come down to the people and you do every responsibility of that community or that family have to do. In Hebrew, a leader is called manhig. Manhig comes from the word in Hebrew behavior. So a leader, like again, it's not about powerful, it's not about how strong you are, it's what kind of a behavior you have. People look at what you do as a leader. They don't necessarily, they follow what you say or what you think, but they look at your behavior. A good leader is well-behaved and calculate his moves, his actions, and again and again, is not afraid to get there. A good leader is keep his word. We all heard about I'm gonna come and help you and I'm there for you if you need me, but not necessarily they show up. A good leader, you show up. A good leader don't talk much. They act a lot. A good leader talk less and act a lot. And a good leader doesn't hesitate to help others. Not afraid to do. There is another quality of a leader that we always ask our leaders for advice. A boss, a leader of the company, a community leader. But sometimes, we don't like to give advices because we are afraid that he's going to come and hunt us back. If we give the wrong advice, then they're going to come back and complain to us. A good leader, take a chance. We're all big boys. We all take responsibility. So a good leader is not afraid to take charge, to take responsibility and give advice. One of the great examples of leadership is in the army. There are some not so good armies that the leaders are in the back and then they send the soldiers to the front. And there are armies like Israel that the leaders, the generals, the officers, they take charge and they're in the front. It's not about the level of danger, it's the level of leadership. Not being afraid, taking charge, having a high level energy. And it's, how do we know that a company or a group of people or a family is a good, they have a good leader? It's not by the results, it's not about the achievement or how much money they achieved. It's about how empower all the people, the employees or the rest of the family become. How much power the rest of the family has, not only the leader. A good leader doesn't give orders. A good leader empower other people, empower them, teach them, show them the way, give them the energy, share the knowledge, share the wisdom. There is a good example that it's actually happened. There was a cooperation, real estate cooperation with a great leader, and it was a weekend, and there was an emergency. There was an explosion of water in one of the buildings, and they couldn't get a hold of the leader, the boss, and it was a lot of chaos, tenants, water exploding. The city got involved, and they couldn't get a hold of the main guy, the CEO. One of the secretaries, find out about this one, and on the weekend she picked up the phone. She started calling the plumbers, she started calling the city, she started calling the emergency people. She find a hotel for the tenants, a secretary. She ended up solving the issue on her own without the boss being there. So a great leader is empower everybody around him, teaching them, encouraging them, giving them the tools to solve any challenge, to solve any issues, not to be dependable. So in one sentence, if you want to describe what is a good leader, it's not what the leader brings to the table, it's what the leader brings out of the people. So one more time. A great leader, a great boss, or president, or a family leader, or a community leader, it's not what they bring to the table, it's what they bring out of the people so they can reach their maximum. I think we reached the time for the Facebook Live. I encourage whoever's listening to Facebook Live, join the class, or they can watch the full class in erzculturecenter.org. Thank you. Vidash, if you want to come back, you're going back. Okay then. So this portion is also talking about are we good with the leadership, because this is Moshe, he's a great leader. I want to touch bases how we can be a good leader. This portion is about Bnei Israel coming out of Egypt and the famous 10 plagues, Aseret Makot. The 10 plagues, the 7 plagues is this week, and the other 3 plagues are coming next week. So what is this business of coming out of Egypt and the 10 plagues? 10 تا ضربه‌ای که به مصر وارد میشه. We talk about it so many times in the past few years. We're going to have a new angle to look at it this year. What is this coming out of the Egypt and freedom that we are looking at? And Farmajun one time asked me, Passover is in 3 months. Why we're studying about coming of the Egypt now? The Torah portions, this amazing design, always prepare us for the next holiday. We're always preparing ourselves for Rosh Hashanah. We're preparing ourselves for Shavuot. Now we are getting prepared for Passover. We have 3 months to Passover. And this wisdom is teaching us, how to prepare for Passover. Passover, we know, is a holiday of freedom. Not a physical freedom, but freedom from this negative consciousness, these layers of negativity, this prison that our mind is. And the story, it's not a story, is the lesson, is the blueprint of who we are. So Egypt is not a country, Egypt is not a place. Unfortunately, because we had these movies about the Ten Commandments and coming out of the Egypt, is so embedded in our head. So each time we're talking about coming out of Egypt, right away we remember Charlton Heston movie and coming out of the Egypt and the Paro. You know, the Zohar class is all about consciousness. You know, the Torah and the wisdom of the Torah is all about the consciousness. The way we're going to look at Egypt this year, we always refer to it as a dark place. We refer to it as a place of challenges, place of not knowing. This year, you know, I find a very good word for Egypt. Egypt is ignorance. Ignorance, not knowing. You remember, we just started the book of Chokhmah, the book of wisdom. And the next 6 weeks want to teach us that we are not that smart, we don't know it all, there is a wisdom behind what we know. Egypt is ignorance. It's not knowing the truth, not knowing, you know, the true, healthy, happy, good life we can have. And the freedom we are looking for is free from all these negative thoughts that we have, negative action or speech that we have. One time I read a book at the very beginning. He says that the biggest enemy of humanity is ignorance, not knowing. If we knew what's going to happen tomorrow, if we knew what's going to happen with our business, if we knew what's going to happen with our family, we would be in peace. So not knowing is the cause for all the chaos in our life. And coming out of Egypt means adding to your wisdom, adding to your knowledge. If I want to make a real estate deal, if I don't know about loans, if I don't know about the laws of the California, I'm ignorant and we're going to suffer. But if you know the rules, if you know the laws, piece of cake. Can you imagine that we know, we have the wisdom, we have the knowledge of the most important thing, which is our life, the way we think, our relationship, our health, our happiness, our peace, our future. So the Torah is not a storybooks. It's want to give us wisdom. It's want to give us understanding. It want to give us intelligence. That's what we learn over the years, over each classes. Add to our knowledge, add to our wisdom. So we can react better way to the circumstances. In this Torah portion, when Moshe comes to Bnei Israel, they're all slave, physical slave, mental slave. He says to them, you know, Hashem sent me here to save you guys, to take you out of bondage. Do you know what was the response of Bnei Israel? There's a word called Kotzer Ruach. They said, you know, leave us alone. We are so busy. We have so many problems. You know, we're in so much pain. There's so much going on. I have so many problems. Forget about God, forget about you, and forget about you saving me. Can you imagine, you know, people are deep in trouble, and you tell him, I want to save you, and he says, no, I don't have the time, I'm too busy. It's so amazing, you know, I can't believe I had this phone call this week. I had a phone call, it's a true story, and a person says, yeah, I have certain kind of problems, and I heard about Kabbalah, I heard about Zohar, and can you solve my problem? And I said, you know, sure. So we talk for, not we, you know, the other person talked over 10 minutes and didn't even have a chance, gave me a chance to respond. That was number one issue, just talking and not listening. But when I told that person, you know, come to the classes, come to the Shabbatot, you know, that's going to be the first step for you to solve a problem. No, 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 I'm too busy, I don't have time for classes, I don't have time for Shabbatot, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in Torah. So it's so amazing that it was so compatible to the story of the Torah this way. And in a way, we live the same life too. It's not only the other people. By the way, I didn't mean to say Lashon Hara, it was just for the purpose of education. So, the Torah is not talking about Bnei Israel are too busy. We are too busy. We are too busy with everyday life. We are so busy with, million and one things. But, we forget about the real thing, the real challenge that we have to add to our wisdom, to add to our knowledge. It's so funny, that person that called me, try psychology, try spiritual healing, so many classes, but they end up coming to the Torah, they end up coming to Kabbalah. But still, they don't want to listen, they don't want to make an effort. We are too busy. Everybody looking for a quick pill, quick solution, which is not going to happen. It takes commitment and years of studying and getting closer to the truth, learning the wisdom in order to get close to the truth. So, that's, I'm very proud of you guys coming every week to the class, coming to the Shabbatot. That's amazing. But the salvation, the solution, the answer we are looking for is the wisdom from Torah and Kabbalah. We have a lot of goals we want to achieve in business, we are studying, we want to have a family, we want to solve this problem, we want to solve that problem, looking for a soulmate, we have a health issue, and our time is so consumed with so many issues, so many challenges. And we're constantly trying to solve this problem. And Baruch Hashem, most of the problems being solved, but it's not from one to another. The Torah portion, what Moshe is trying to teach us, is that we need to inject this wisdom into our life. This is the real thing. This is the real remedy to all the problems. If we add this wisdom and knowledge to ourselves, then we're going to be free from all those challenges and chaoses that comes to us. So that's what the Torah is trying to teach us, and by the way, twice in this Torah portion it says Shema, listen. Somebody bring you a good message, somebody tells you about the wisdom from the Torah, wisdom from the Zohar, wisdom from the Kabbalah, you need to listen to it. This is who we are. This is where our neshama is connected to, the soul, to the Torah, nothing by the Torah. There is a very good example. So how we can reach that freedom? How can we reach that emet? How we can stop with this worriness? Constantly worrying about tomorrow, next year, what's going to happen. We all had, unfortunately, court date. We're so worried about the court date. The night before we don't sleep. What's going to happen? What's going to happen in the court? But with studying of the Torah and this wisdom and the consciousness of the Kabbalah, little by little, we raise our emunah, we raise our certainty. We understand our purpose in life. We realize that there is a lesson behind everything. There is no punishment, there is no bad luck. Everything that happens is for my goodness. Everything is to make me a better person. So yeah, we always worry about the court, but can you imagine you have the total emunah, you have total certainty, and that court is going to come, Does it really matter what's going to be the result? I'm going to know that it's all for my goodness. It's all good. So the whole purpose is to raise the level of the certainty, emunah, to see the truth behind every situation. It's all stories. I don't want to use the word lie because it's a very powerful word, but you know, the Kabbalists, they say it's all lies. All these challenges, all these stories are lies. We have to add the wisdom to ourselves to see the truth behind everything. We have the right to know the truth. Who we are, what is our purpose. And it's only going to come to us with wisdom. The ignorance is the darkness, is the pain and the suffering. You know, look at our life compared to a few years ago. We understand more, we observe more, we have more wisdom. We don't fall for every negative situation. We raise our level of certainty a bit. What is this business of the 10 plagues? What's going on with the 10 plagues? What does 10 plagues have to do with us? So in order for us to come out of ignorance and going to wisdom, in order for us to come out of darkness, going to the light. And by the way, these 3 months that we have up to Passover, we want to build a vessel, we want to learn the lesson, we want to add to our wisdom. And then on the full moon of Passover, we receive the light. First we build a vessel, we build the understanding, we add the wisdom, and then the light comes in with its blessings. And it's fulfill the vessel and stay with us forever. What is this 10 plagues? We talk about it so many times over the years, but I came across a beautiful lesson. So the Bnei Israel had to go through the 10 plagues that came to Egypt in order for them to become free, in order for Pharaoh to send them free. You know, if you take the first letter of all the plagues, you know, the first one is Dam, which is Dalet. The second one is Tzfardea, which is the frogs. And then if you take the beginning letter of all of them, then it's Bet. Okay, let me write down all of them so you know. This is the first letter of every plague in Hebrew. Then it's Ain, then it's Dalet, then it's Shin, then it's Bet, Aleph, Chet is Choshech, and the last one was Bechorim, the firstborn. If you add up all the letters, it's become to 501. And 501 is also Rosh, means head. So if we add all the first letters of all the plagues, it adds up to 501. And 501 in Hebrew is Rosh. Shin is 300, Resh is 200, and Aleph is 1. Rosh in Hebrew means head. The head is include my mind, my consciousness, my thinking, my imagination, everything. All the thoughts, all the wisdom, all the understanding is within the head. In a different language, these 10 plagues, or 10 in Hebrew, it's Aseret Makot. It's not a plague. Plague is the wrong translation in English. In Hebrew, Aseret Makot means 10 hitting. 10, how is a makot in English? Zarbat. 10 zarbat, 10 hitting. Hitting where? Am I supposed to hit somebody, or am I supposed to get hit? It's a consciousness zarbe that I have to bring to my own mind and consciousness to break the klipa, to break what's keeping me from seeing the emet, to break the ego. Don't forget, we're in a book of wisdom, and this period called the wannabe wisdom. We're all smart, we all know, but do you ask yourself how ignorant we are? How much we don't know? Of course we know, but You know, our mind is 97% dark. There's so much we don't know. So this 10 plagues or 10 تا ضربه is to break this ego that I have within myself, that I know it all. Don't teach me anything, I know it. We ask a person, come to the class. No, I have a better class. Come to Shabbat. No, I'm too busy, I'm working, I'm smarter than you. I'm making money, you don't make money on Shabbat. So in reality, we are looking to see the light. We are looking to see the truth. But in order to see the light, to see the truth, we have to come out of the darkness. In order to come out of the darkness, we have to go through these 10 plagues and break these negative thoughts, negative thinking, or the bad habit that we have, that we say, I know it all, I know better than you. So what we are supposed to break, you know, the Kabbalists, they explain to us, you know, in a simple way. You have to break the wrong imagination, the wrong things that I'm wishing for, that it's not mine. You know, we live in such a difficult city, you know, this is Hollywood, this is, you know, we see we want, or in the internet, we see everything. And it's messed with our head, it's messed with our imagination. Our grandparents in a small city, they had a much higher emunah than us, much higher level of certainty, because they couldn't imagine much. Their life was very simple. But our time, you know, the tikkun, the correction is so difficult because we imagine things and we want things that doesn't even belong to us. So the first thing that we need to break in our consciousness is a false imagination. You know, in a few other classes we talk about imagination, like Professor Einstein says imagination is more important than knowledge. But we are not talking about a constructive imagination. We're not talking about imagining to building a kenisa, building a better class. Not imagining our children to reach their maximum potential. Not imagining ourselves to be healthy, that's fine. But imagining something is a lie, something is a fault, something, you know, it doesn't belong to my life, something it's not within my purpose. Imagining desires, you know, that's not healthy. So in order to come out of that darkness, I have to break those wrong imaginations, stuff that are not real. They're not real, they are not related to my life, my family. You know, again, we live in this city, we see so many things that we imagine ourselves that we want those. But we are sacrificing our good life, good time with the family, good time with our loved ones in order to reach and achieve things that don't belong to us. So the first one is to break the false imagination. The second one is to fear. Fear. The more we think about something that, you know, we are afraid of, that brings us fear, is that fear gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Fear of growing, fear of expanding, fear of making a move, fear of going extra mile, fear of, you know, speaking your heart, fear of sharing, fear of being a channel of light, fear of, you know, helping and teaching others. So, you know, look at our wonderful country, you know, United States and Israel. You couldn't build such a wonderful country out of fear. Absolute heroes, absolute certainty, absolute power. So the fear is huge negative thought in our head that we need to break it. we think we are not afraid, and again, fear is not about the size or about the power or about what you have. We all control with our fears. Again, growing, start a family, participate, talk your heart or express your love. This is all the fears that we live with. So we need to break those fears. The next one that the Kabbalists suggest that we should break in our head, in Hebrew they call it hirhur lev. It's actually talking about the second head that we have, is our heart. Is hirhur in Hebrew is like being suspicious. Is like, you know, not to be able to make a decision. Being confused. You know, like, let me think about it again. And, you know, sometimes we decide, okay, next week, I don't know, I'm donating $200 to my Kenisa. Few days pass by, you know what, maybe I should make it $100. You know, like 2 days before, make it $50. By the time, you know, I want to make a donation, you know what, I'm not going to make a donation. So, you know, you get a message. You make a decision. You know, something for Kedusha, something to benefit others, to help somebody, to go out of your comfort zone. Don't have a second thought. I'm not talking about, you know, selfish desires, or I'm talking about a good deed. You want to do something good. You know, it happened to me too. You know, on the way here, there's traffic, it's raining, it's hard. I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break. You know, how can you take a break from such a wonderful people, you know, such a lovable class we have?